Hello friends, and welcome back to the Woodenburn YouTube channel. My name is Emily and I am here today with what I hope will be the first video in a year-long series that I'm hoping to do. I am hoping to try and keep track of my yarn in and yarn out usages throughout 2026. I've toyed with the idea of doing this in the past and just haven't gotten around to it, but then I've seen Shauna from Shauna Stitches, I've seen Kirsty from Kirsty Knits and Sews, she talks about it, and there's another channel, it's Miss M Makes, I think, and that channel is just about, I can't remember for sure the lady's name, I really enjoy her videos, but she really just does monthly, this is what I made, this is the yarn I use, this is the yarn I bought, and then she does like a yearly wrap up. And I've been really enjoying those videos, and I think that it would be something that would be really helpful for me to see how much yarn I actually use throughout the year. And it would also be really nice at the end of the year to be able to sit down and go, wow, I got a lot done. Because I know that I've gotten a lot of knitting done in the past several years, but I have never kept a full list of items of things that I have made. My camera just cut off, so I'm not sure where it stopped me. Because I haven't kept a list of the items that I have made, it can really feel like I'm just knitting and knitting and knitting and never really getting the things done that I want to, which isn't true. And I would just like to have a better understanding where I can look back and be like, wow, I made like 15 things in the year. I made 25, 50 things in the year. I got a lot of knitting done, sort of a thing, rather than it just being a little bit discouraging of I didn't get all of the things that I ever wanted to knit in one year. So that is what I'm here to talk about today. I'm going to talk about my January stats, if you will. I have not gone through and cataloged my entire stash. That's just not something that I can do feasibly right now. Just as a mom with 2 little kids, 3 and under, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I just don't, I couldn't make the time. If I was perfectly honest, I could make the time to go through and catalog everything. However, I would rather spend that time knitting and crafting because my time is already very, very limited and I would rather not use it cataloging that. So what I am planning to do is just keep track of the yarn that comes in and the yarn that goes out of my stash throughout January. And if you think about it, we're starting at 0 in January, and I am hoping to, at the end of the year, have used more yarn than has come into my house. That is my goal, that is my hope, that I will have used some of the yarns in my stash and reduced my stash a little bit. I would like to have a slightly smaller stash, just for storage purposes. We don't have a very large house and the storage that we have in our house is not ideal. It works, but it's not ideal, and I would like to not have so much of it taken up with yarn. That being said, I love my yarn, I love all of it, I want to use it, and it's beautiful, and I'm so grateful to have it. It's just, I would like to have a little bit less. So, that's enough of an intro. I have 2 finished objects that I managed to get done in January. If you've been following along with my channel, you know that I have cast on a mountain of things for the 12 cast-ons make along, and then on top of that I have cast on a couple of other projects. I have a lot of stuff on the needles right now, and I technically have at least one more thing that I need to cast on. So we've got a lot of whips at the moment, which is fine, I don't mind that, but that did mean that I did not really get a lot of stuff finished in January, but that's okay. The 2 things that I managed to finish, one is this cute little vest. This is the Ollie's Everyday Slipover that I knit for my 3-year-old. I finished this one in record time. It was less than a week. It was so fast. And this used 117 grams of acrylic yarn, worsted weight acrylic yarn. So that was great. 117 grams. That is a reasonable amount. The skein of yarn that I used was 170 grams maybe, so I still have a chunk of that left, but I used the vast majority of it in here. And then the other thing that I finished is a little sheep. This is from the Knitted Nativity Volume 1 set by Esther Braithwaite, and I weighed it. I forgot to weigh it before I put the stuffing in, so it's not completely accurate, but it was 10 grams. So my plan is I'm just going to count 8 grams just to make sure we're fair and whatnot because of the amount of stuffing in there. And also that means that it's a nice and even number of, I used 125 grams of yarn. I'm not planning to count any sort of yardage or anything like that, just grams. So I've had 125 grams out of my stash. However, I was gifted some really, really gorgeous yarn in January. They were kind of, one of them was a late birthday present, and then the other one was kind of like a late birthday Christmas present. That's what I'm counting it as. So yeah, I did purchase one thing, and this is this is 114 grams, so that kind of negates my finishes right there. I bought a ball of the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK, which is a really, really, really thin DK. Like, that's its fingering weight. And I bought this specifically because, this is a, let me back up here. It's 100% low pill acrylic. It's 114 grams or 478 yards, which is just interesting. I have a ball, it's a giant thing, of a mohair blend. It's mostly mohair. It's got a little bit of cotton, a little bit of acrylic, maybe some wool in there. It's a mix. And it was gifted to me in 2024 by my sister for my birthday. And I have been wanting to use that yarn ever since. I've never knit with mohair. I'm really curious to see what that process would be like. However, I didn't have any yarn in my stash that was not already like set aside for a project that went with this mohair. It's a blend of like blues and greens, and it's kind of a darker color. So I had some lighter color yarns that I could have used, but when I paired them together, it just looked funny. And so I really wanted something that would work well, specifically with that skein, so I could get it out of my stash. Because it's a pretty hefty, it's I don't remember the grams, but it's like 300 and something yards of this like fluffy mohair stuff. And I wanted to get it out of my stash. And I couldn't because I didn't have anything to pair it with. So I went ahead and grabbed this and used this. I technically had a Hobby Lobby gift card that I was given for Christmas. So this was sort of a Christmas present, but it still came into my stash. I still bought it. And my plan is to hopefully try and make a cowl of some kind that will use up every last bit of that mohair and get it out of my stash. Because I love it. I'm super grateful to have it. But it's just, if I had a random odds of like, I don't know, 10 grams of mohair, I don't use mohair like at all. And I really want to have the experience of having knitted with some mohair, but I just don't use it. And so I want to use all of it in a project. So that is why I got this. And then one of my lovely sweet brother-in-laws asked what I would like as a birthday present. And I told him that I specifically wanted this other Hobby Lobby yarn. And he got me 3 skeins of it, which was super, super lovely of him. This is the Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed, and it's in the Market at Malta colorway. And I have been eyeing this particular colorway for probably over a year at this point. I absolutely love it. Every time I would go into Hobby Lobby, I would see the skein and be like, oh man. And so I was actually planning to buy 3 skeins of this yarn this year. That was my plan, was to go ahead and save up, and in like May or something for a special little treat to buy 3 skeins of it. But now I don't have to because I was very sweetly gifted it. And these are 100 gram skeins or 400 yards. So 3 of those. Super happy with that. I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to make with them, but it's going to be a garment of some kind. That's why I wanted 3. And then the last thing that I have is in this box. Let me go ahead and open it up. This was so generously gifted to me by Holly from Mr. Mouse Yarn Co. And it came in this little package. She included a couple other little goodies. Oh, I flipped it around. Flip back around. Which is very Christmassy, and I just absolutely love this so much. There we go. There's that, and there's some tea and a little bag, and so it was a really, really lovely gift to get. She sent me 2 sock sets of her Christmas Carol colorway, and I just love it so, so much. This is on a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend. It's 437 yards per 100 gram skein. And I haven't weighed them. I'm assuming these are 20 gram minis. But look at this. Like, they're just stunning. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I love it so, so much. And my plan is, again, with these to make some sort of a sweater or a garment or something. And I did just have the realization that I can probably use the mini skeins for all the ribbing details. Like, how cute would that be? So, this is, see, 200, and I'm going to say 240 grams. Then I've got 300 grams of the Market at Malta. So that right there is 540 grams. And then with this one, that one's 600, and because this one was 114, so 654 grams of yarn into my stash. So we are not starting the year off on a negative, which is fine. That's okay. I'm hoping to get a number of things finished in February that will hopefully balance things out. Although I say that, but then I realized I did just go and buy a couple of things of yarn from Hobby Lobby yesterday. They're gifts, okay? It's not for me. We'll talk about those at the end of February. But yeah, these are the gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful yarns that have come into my stash. There's definitely a color theme going on here that I didn't put together until I held these all up. I love them so much, and I'm so excited to use these gorgeous yarns. And they're gifts, and I was gonna say it feels like such a gift to get these, but it really does. Like, to have people that care enough about you that want to get you the things that you love and enjoy using, like, it's just lovely. So there is that. That is what we have. I don't know off the top of my head what the exact amount in the positive I am. I'll try and put it up here on the screen somewhere, because it's like, what is it? What did I say? 654, take away 125, which I could probably do the math in my head, but it's gonna be a little painful to watch, so we're not gonna do that. I'll just put it up on the screen. But yeah, that was the yarn in and yarn out that I have for January of 2026. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying it. Whatever you're knitting on, whatever you're working on, are you trying to use a lot of stash yarn? I think it is really nice to try and focus on using the things that we already have, and for me at least, I'm really trying to focus on contentment and being content with the things that I have and not feeling like I constantly need to go and buy the same things that everybody else is buying. It's really lovely to watch other knitting podcasts and to see all the gorgeous yarns and projects that everybody else is making, but I don't want that to impact me negatively and make me want to buy all the things, which it has definitely done in past years, like probably like 5 to 7 years ago when I first started getting more involved in the knitting community. I definitely started feeling a lot of that, like, oh, I need to go and buy all the things, which kind of makes sense because at the time I was just getting into knitting and I didn't really have much of a stash at all. That's not the case now. I have a beautiful, beautiful stash of yarn, and so many of the yarns are just, oh, they're just gorgeous, and I love them, and I've been wanting to knit with them for ages. So I just really want to try and get some of those projects knit. I want those yarns to come to life and be fully used, and it's lovely. That's one of the things that I really enjoyed about the 12 cast-ons, was I was able to get a number of different yarns that I have had bookmarked for specific projects on the needles, and I was able to use a bunch of different patterns that I've been dreaming of. So it was just a great knit along and make along to participate in for me, and I am hopeful to be able to, you know, finish a few more things in February and throughout the rest of the year, rather than just constantly casting on everything. But that is all that I have for this first video in this series, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will be back hopefully pretty soon for the next video. I have Rouge Clue number 3 vlog to get out. I have a 12 cast-ons wrap-up video to film, and at some point here I need to film a proper podcast because I haven't filmed one since I think October or maybe November, so hopefully there will be one in February. And then also I am toying with the idea, after I just said I was going to try and get things finished, of doing a Valentine's Day cast-on. We'll see if that happens or not. I just love knitting so much, and I love yarn, and it is just a wonderful gift and blessing to be able to do both of those things. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.